What's up everyone? Today I'm going to be sharing with you my thoughts on why you should be moving to the Villages. Just to say, the Packers did win again today. I'm sure some of you get kind of tired of that, but I mean, they're that good. Anyway, I have lived in the Villages area, right around the Villages, for over a dozen years now. Probably 2/3 of my life, 3/4 I guess. And I also worked in the Villages for quite some time. So I want to share with you one of the reasons why the Villages is one of my favorite places and why you should move here. Now, I chose my words very specifically because live is a very specific term. So if you are not somebody that enjoys going outside or enjoys socializing or enjoys something like that, you're not going to like what I have to say. The Villages are a place to live, get out, enjoy being with friends, family, if you have them down here, groups, clubs, activities, the outdoors. Now, if you're the type of person that sits in the house, nothing wrong with that. But if you're the type of person that likes sitting in the house, don't like social interaction, don't like to go out of the house, don't like to do any of that stuff, the Villages probably isn't for you. If your idea of retirement is to sit in a lazy boy and watch TV, there's many cheaper options out there than the Villages. There is a reason why it is called an active community. You have golf, you have clubs, you have outdoor trails, golf cart trails, bike trails, walking trails, plenty of nature things you can do. Pretty soon there's going to be kayaking and paddle boarding and things like that in the Richmond area and some of those newer areas that are coming in. Also, here's the other thing. I don't think that one day you just retire and you've been living inside a house for 50, 60, 70 years and all of a sudden you think that you're going to get out and you're going to golf every day, or you're going to get out and you're going to go join all these clubs and be active and join the gym that you have never done in your life, join all these things and do them, and you've never done them before. It's just not going to happen. I'm sure it can, and it does happen sometimes, but in reality, most people like what they like, and it is what it is. Again, not that that matters. It's up to your lifestyle and what you like to do. But my number one reason, and the reason why I think people should move to the Villages, is the social interaction and the active lifestyle. Now, let's be honest, in most areas, if you have your curtains open, your neighbor is going to see, you're one flash away from your neighbor knowing intimate details about your life. Everything in the Villages revolves around social gatherings. Almost everyone that I've ever dealt with, either working or even being in the Villages, has resulted in a positive interaction. And I mean a positive, happy, people are friendly, they're there enjoying themselves. You don't meet too many grumpy people. I know that. I've heard stories about the Villages are grumpy, those grumpy old people. That's just not the case. Even through this channel, I've received much of the same. Every once in a while there's a negative comment, but not in all actuality. Out of the thousands of people that view the videos, and the other channels also, even like Skips, you don't see a whole lot of negative interactions. Number two, if you don't like one area, you can always move to another area within the Villages. The Villages is huge. It's a huge, big retirement community with separate areas. Each of the squares have a different feel. Each of the squares have a different representation, I would say. And of course they say the southern end is younger, but it just changes. It's kind of like seasons. With the new houses going up in Spanish Springs and replacing the old ones and people moving in, that age gap is going to be pretty much the same anywhere you go. In fact, typically people move 3 times within the Villages retirement before they settle on a house in the Villages area. There's also new areas popping up, probably completed construction every 6 months or so. And a lot of the times the equity in your house is so good that you can just sell it anyway and go buy a new one. Number 3, sports and clubs. There are over 3,000 clubs currently in the villages. Tons to choose from. You can choose anything from clubs that revolve around sports. They have golf cart clubs. They have where you moved from clubs. Any of these. If you don't find a club that you're interested in and you think that it's lacking, you can always create your own club within the villages and have people come to your club. It makes it really easy to meet people that share the same interests, or meet people from where you're from. Like being from Wisconsin, if I moved down here and I wanted to meet other people from Wisconsin or other people that are Packer fans, I know everybody's a Packer fan, but people that are Packer fans, it's really easy to find those type of people down here. Or on the flip side, if you don't want to be around those type of people, it makes it really easy to avoid those types of people also. I personally love being active, so some place like MVP Health Club or one of the fitness facilities would be my go-to. We all know retirees like to keep the same schedule, like to go to the same classes at the same times, work out at the same time on Monday, Wednesday, Friday, or every day, or whatever they choose to do, but they do it at the same times. So one thing I saw at MVP is when you would work out, you would take a certain class and those same people would be in that same class every week or every Tuesday and Thursday, and then became like a second family. And they even adopted me in as an outsider, which was great. Obviously, number 4, younger families are welcome. Now, there isn't 19 and below, or under 19, you're not allowed to live in the villages. You're only allowed to stay for a certain amount of time on a visit. But 19 and up can buy and purchase and live in the villages. They don't meet the percentage yet. They're not booming with that. Of course, there are the specific areas also where young families can go with kids under 19, such as like Oxford Oaks. And then you also have the new area coming in, Middleton, which I think is going to be fantastic. If you are over 19, you don't have kids that are under 19, you still get all the amenities, you get all that stuff just like you would because you're a village resident. Number five, and I think this is the biggest one, support systems and friends. So a lot of people don't know this about the villages, but the response time for emergency services is so low. It's one of the tops in the country. We're talking under 10 minutes. And that is response time from the call to somebody arriving on the scene, whether it's ambulance, fire truck, basically first responder, obviously. That makes it very important, especially for a community mainly 55 and above. So if you're coming here to retire and for whatever reason you have health concerns or you're worried about etc. Plus, obviously, as you retire and you get up in age, you don't even really need a car. You can drive the golf cart, so it's self-contained. Typically, almost every neighborhood has an AED, one of those defibrillators that people are trained on, which also brings me to CPR certifications. A high percentage of villagers are certified on CPR, and they typically have a group in each neighborhood where when something happens, the AED is run over to the house, and etc., etc. Also, that means the businesses within the villages are pretty much on the same level. When I worked at MVP Health Club, we all had CPR certifications and we're all trained on the AED and took concurrent training on a regular basis. People were revived on a regular basis at MVP as well. Obviously, this isn't like something that we all think about, but also losing a loved one or celebrating a birthday or just anything. The neighborhood is always there for you. They do driveway parties on a regular basis, typically once a month, I think, most neighborhoods get together, especially if they like each other, and they have driveway parties, or they go to the square and meet for live entertainment, or they meet for drinks. All in all, what's to complain about the Villages? I mean, leave a comment for me if you do have something to complain about, but I don't think there's much. Thank you for watching to the end. I know that about 70% of you aren't subscribed, so it would really mean a lot to me for you to hit that subscribe button and ring the bell so you get notified when I put out a video. I really appreciate it, and as always, I will see you in the next one.